y'all, welcome to Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Snackable. You know, the other night during the debates, a question was asked about Breonna Taylor. And I noticed how Kamala Harris wasn't giving the full story about Breonna Taylor. But here to set the record straight is the founder of TatumReport.com, and he's a former police officer. Please welcome to the show, Brandon Tatum. Hello, Brandon.
Hello, Brandon.
Hey, ladies, how you doing?
Wonderful.
Doing great, doing great.
So I'm hearing through the grapevine that you have more information about Breonna Taylor after the grand jury released these tapes. What do you have?
Well, you know, I think people need to understand that the grand jury recordings and the documented information is not going to add any more to the case in Breonna Taylor. One thing that was discovered was that there was no recommendation of charges from Mr. Cameron to the grand jury against Sergeant Manley and the other officer that shot and killed Breonna Taylor. People were expecting this to be an explosive situation, but it wasn't. Also, there was a witness that was presented who had the closest proximity to the entry that was made by the police. That witness identified and made a statement to say that he heard the police officers knock and announce. Also, they were making so much noise and so disruptive that other neighbors were coming out, which the police had to confront and tell them to go back in the house. So this grand jury thing that was supposed to be released and be so shocking, it really did not reveal anything. And people are making it a complicated situation by saying, well, they didn't announce or they didn't knock loud enough and that Kenneth Walker didn't hear them. But in all actuality, according to the search warrant, which they had a no-knock exception, the police officers didn't even have to knock. So if they didn't announce and they just knocked, they would have still been justified under the law and the exception for the no-knock exception related to the warrant on Breonna Taylor's house.
Okay, I got to ask you a question. Was Jamarcus her boyfriend, or was the Kenneth guy her boyfriend?
Kenneth Walker was her current boyfriend. Jamarcus Glover was her ex-boyfriend. And on the Tatum report, we have transcripts from jail now, the jail calls where Jamarcus Glover used to mess with Breonna Taylor, but he was still messing with Breonna Taylor, even though she was currently dating Kenneth Walker. Right. And Jamarcus Glover, one of his baby mamas, confronted him about it and said, you still messing with that girl, and he's claiming he wasn't messing with her. So, I mean, they were exes, but they still had this entrapment of relationships still going related to drug dealing.
Okay, let me ask you this here. Back in 2016, Breonna Taylor was on the FBI's radar because she rented a car, and that car, a body was found in that car. Can you clarify that, or can you clear that up?
Yeah, she was on the LMPD's radar for investigation, the Louisville Police Department, the Metropolitan.
So it wasn't the FBI?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So it wasn't the FBI, it was the Louisville Police Department.
The Louisville Police Department was investigating a homicide, and the homicide victim was found in a car that Breonna Taylor had rented. So they were under investigation from that point, and Jamarcus Glover was probably involved in that. I think they had him as potentially involved in it. They didn't determine that he was the suspect involved in a murder, but that put Breonna Taylor on notice. Then they begin to watch her behavior. They begin to watch Jamarcus Glover's behavior, and then they begin to draw a connection. On the Tatum report, we have jail. I keep wanting to say 911 calls. We have the jailhouse recordings when Jamarcus Glover was in jail around the 2016 time, where he's communicating with Breonna Taylor about handling his dope deal stuff. You know, about her stashing drugs and also her dealing with people who are supposed to be running drugs for Jamarcus Glover and keeping them in line. That was Breonna Taylor's job at the time. That's all on a recorded jailhouse tape.
Wow.
Well, do you know if Jamarcus Glover and Kenneth Walker, did they know each other? And was they in jail together at one point?
I'm not familiar if they were in jail together at one point, but I do know that when they got arrested, you know, Jamarcus Glover was arrested and Kenneth Walker was arrested. I believe they were in the jail together during that period of time, because there's jailhouse recordings of Kenneth Walker speaking, and then also them talking trash about Kenneth Walker and saying that, look, he's in the jail right now. You know, this dude had no business shooting the police. He got Bree killed. all of that information is in the jailhouse communication. So I don't know if they previously had a history of spending time in jail together. As far as I know, and the sources that I have, I don't think Kenneth Walker had a criminal record, and I don't think he was involved in any criminal behavior. It seemed like he came from a pretty good family. I think his father was in the military. So he kind of got trapped in the middle of dealing with a young lady who was involved with her drug dealer ex-boyfriend.
Wow. According to the Tatum report on what I read, they keep saying that Breonna Taylor was not asleep in the bed, but she was in the hallway. Is that true?
100% true. She wasn't sleeping in the bed. That's a complete lie. Yeah. I think they were starting a narrative to try to make it look like she's completely innocent. The police officers were knocking on her door loud enough that her and Kenneth Walker got out of the bed. I'm pretty sure they put some clothes on or something. They got out of the bed. He had enough time to go get a gun. They were standing in the hallway when the police officer breached the front door. Kenneth Walker shot the police officer. He ducked off out of the way and left Breonna Taylor in the middle of the hallway. So when the police officers were returning fire.
Right. So if the boyfriend would not have shot, then Breonna wouldn't be dead. So really, this is the boyfriend's fault for shooting at a police officer when this was a knock. And I'm finding out her name was on this warrant. It wasn't like they just went to a house.
Right.
Her name was on this warrant. Why was her name on the warrant?
Yeah, she was knee deep in the criminal enterprise with Jamarcus Glover. On the Tatum report, we have extensive investigatory information that's there because Jamarcus Glover, and there's pictures, and they did surveillance of Breonna Taylor. Her car was at the trap house with Jamarcus Glover where they knew they were running drugs, guns, and money. And also he was seen at her apartment going in, getting packages and coming out. His address was listed at Breonna Taylor's house. When he posted bail, when he got out of jail the first time, his address was Breonna Taylor's house. So they had a connection and an involvement, and she was a part of it. And so they had a search warrant not only for her residence, they had a search warrant for her person to be arrested and detained, and they had a search warrant for her vehicle. So all of those things were involved. Apartment, vehicle, and her person were on the search warrant. They executed the search warrant. And technically, the search warrant that they executed, which was all simultaneously, they hit, that people like to say they got Jamarcus Glover first and then they were at the wrong house. No, they hit these warrants simultaneously. That's the way you hit warrants so nobody can snitch and start telling each other what happened. They hit them simultaneously, but Breonna Taylor's house was a low-level crime house. She was not considered a violent criminal. That's why, even though they had a no-knock exception, they decided to knock on the door and to use their investigatory training to just get information from her and detain her without incident. But unfortunately, as they're knocking on the door, Kenneth Walker shot one of the police officers, and then they had to return fire.
And also during the investigation and within the reports, I read and saw where Kenneth said that he did hear a knock, but they didn't say that they were the police. So if he did hear a knock, how are they saying that there was a no knock entry?
Right, they're completely lying. I mean, Kenneth Walker told his lawyer, his attorney, that he heard the knocking. Now, I want people to understand this in policing, because I was a police officer. I did search warrants. We did a bunch of no-knock warrants when I was on the SWAT team. You, as a police officer, you will never knock and not announce. If you're not going to announce, you just ram the door and force entry without saying anything, which they had the ability to do if they wanted to. So if you're going to knock on the door, the reason that you knock on the door is because you want to give the people an opportunity to wake up, hear that you're the police, and be able to come to the door peacefully. There's no way in the world these officers would knock on the door and just not say nothing and put themselves in a compromising position. But Kenneth Walker said that he heard them knocking on the door. They were beating on that door hard enough to wake them out of their sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, wake up neighbors, and actually have them get to the point where they come to the door. Kenneth Walker also said he asked, "Who is it?" And he said he didn't hear a response. So it is highly unlikely that Kenneth Walker is being truthful. There is no way for us to know if he heard the police officers or not. It seems reasonable that he should have heard the police officers knocking and announced.
Yeah, why is he going to ask who is it? What? Based off of the air?
And why are you going to shoot somebody that's knocking at your door? That doesn't make any sense.
Right. You're going to go see who it is.
Yeah. One thing moving forward with this police officer that was indicted, why was he indicted when, if somebody shoots at the police, the thing is, they're going to shoot back.
What was he
so
indicted
what was
on?
he indicted on?
Yeah, so the two police officers that were in the door, Sergeant Madeline and the other officer that was in the door that returned fire, they were justified because they saw the shots being fired at them. They returned fire. All of that probably happened within a second and a half. People probably think it was a whole shootout. No, that happened like this. They shot, then they boom, 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 4 shots between 2 officers. That's 8 shots. Breonna Taylor took all 8 of them, unfortunately. Now, the other officer that got charged, he's shooting blindly into a house. You cannot do that. You have to see what you're shooting. He was shooting behind, I think he was shooting through a glass sliding door that had a curtain that went down. And he shot multiple times into the house, going into other apartment complexes and going through walls, and he was negligent in his behavior. Now,
the bullets was going through walls and different things, is what you're saying. As he was shooting, the bullets was going through walls?
Oh, yeah, they were going everywhere. They were going through walls. They ended up in an apartment that was occupied by, I think, a person, an adult and a child. So he was very negligent in shooting into an apartment. Even though they got fired upon, you cannot blindly shoot into an apartment for no reason. No reason whatsoever. And I don't think any of his shots hit Breonna Taylor. So all of his shots blindly through a house did not even hit the target. So he was completely wrong. And I think it was justified and reasonable that he got charged.
Oh, thank you for explaining that, because in my mind, I'm thinking it was the main 2 officers, but it wasn't. It was somebody that was outside just blindly just shooting. And that's why he was indicted on these charges.
In his defense, he may have been, some people choke under pressure. So when the shots are flying, he may have thought that it was a desperate need for him to shoot into a house without seeing, because he was protecting his buddies. But in policing, it doesn't matter. You cannot shoot blindly into a house, because just say that there was a kid in the house.
Right.
He can't see if he's shooting at Breonna Taylor, Kenneth Walker, or a little baby that's sitting on the couch. He can't see those things. You cannot shoot into a house without knowing your target and seeing what you're shooting at.
So moving forward, what do we need to take away from this Breonna Taylor case?
Well, first of all, that the media is completely complicit in lying, and that all of these attorneys that are claiming to represent Breonna Taylor's family are complete liars, and they're hacks. All they're doing is trying to conjure up the division and hatred so they can get a payout on the other end. Because I would love to see what percentage of money that Benjamin Crump got with this settlement. I would love to see the percentage of money that Benjamin Crump and others are getting in a civil lawsuit, a civil rights lawsuit. I want to see how much money these people are getting, because that's the reason why they're presenting this. I want people to understand this very clearly. Breonna Taylor's death was, it was something that was a bad thing. I don't think that she should have died in this scenario, but it was unfortunate. But the police officers were not wrong. They were executing a legal warrant. They knocked on the door and announced. They breached the door and they were shot at, so they returned fire. Unfortunately, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend is a coward. He ducked off after he leave her in the hallway to get shot up. And here's the thing I want people to understand too. Initially, he said she was the shooter. He told the police that she was the shooter. He tried to pin the shooting on her, and then he finally confessed when he got to the substation that he actually fired the shots. Although the officer saw, that where the shots were coming from and that he was the one shooting, she just kind of got caught in the crossfire. The warrant had her name on it, had her apartment on it, had her house on it. She was knee deep in criminal activity with Jamarcus Glover since 2016. The police have been doing an investigation for several years. All of the evidence, 40-some pages of evidence that's on the Tatum report, gives a layout of everything that they knew. This was a simultaneous warrant. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't that they had their criminal and they accidentally went to her house. All of these people were a part of the investigation that the police had activated. Attorney General Cameron did exactly what he's supposed to do. There was nothing suspicious in the transcripts from the grand jury, and that man is a hero. He should be commended from him being fair. There was an officer that did wrong. He was brought to justice. The other 2 officers were justified.
Right. So they always have this picture going around with Breonna Taylor as an EMT worker. Can you explain about that? Because a lot of people think that she was still an EMT worker.
Yeah, they were thinking that she was an EMT worker. She had gotten into trouble because of the the dead body found in her rental car, that she was banned from ever working for the city again. So she was forced to resign as an EMT worker for the city. Now, she did work in the hospital, but she was not an EMT like they said she was. Those pictures and stuff that they are showing, I don't even believe that they're accurate pictures, depictions of what she was actually doing. So people are going around saying that she's an aspiring EMT. They don't talk about the fact that she was fired and banned from never working for the city again because of her involvement with the dead body in her rental car.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you all, there you have it with Brandon Tatum, tatumreport.com. You can find this information right there. Thank you so much, Brandon. If we want any more information or need any more information, would you promise to come back on the show?
Anytime, Diamond and Silk. Y'all know I love y'all.
We love you
We
more.
love you more.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right.
So there you have it, you all. So if you want to know the truth about Breonna Taylor, just listen to this show or make sure you visit TatumReport.com. In the meantime and in between time, we'll see you all next time right here on Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Snackable.
Bye-bye.
Hey y'all. Okay, so I know that you all have been having problems with these social medias not getting our notification. You can't find us. You're getting booted off whenever you watch a video. So here's what I want you to do.
Listen up.
Go to diamondandsilk.com and click on Chit Chat. Yes, we back, baby.
That's right.
With Chit Chat at diamondandsilk.com. So if you can't view it on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, then go on over there to our website.
That's right.
diamondandsilk.com.
Because you know they're coming for us, right? Oh, girl.
Go, 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 go. Hey, y'all, go to diamondandsilk.com and click on Chit Chat Live. Diamondandsilk.com. Go ahead, go ahead. Oh, go, 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 go. Y'all ain't got nothing on us.
Nothing.
Forget you, YouTube. Get out the way. Diamondandsilk.com. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Do you want to see Diamond and Silk keep this thing going? I mean, keep this here thing moving?
Really?
Well, go to our website, diamondandsilk.com, and contribute. Right there, diamondandsilk.com. You can make all of your contributions right there on our website, diamondandsilk.com. So we can keep this party moving on and on and on and on to the break of dawn. On and on and on and on. Like hot butter popcorn. Just on and on and on. That's diamondandsilk.com. Hey y'all, don't forget to tune in to the Diamond and Silk Crystal Clear Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here's a sneak peek of the show.
Joe Biden, Jim Crow Joe, he pushed for the Iraq war. And that veteran said, we fought in your war. And then Joe Biden had the nerve to jump on the bandwagon with the very fake news based off of some anonymous source, and we don't even know if the source is true. So that lets me know Joe Biden, he is nothing but a liar.
So, don't forget, Diamond and Silk Crystal Clear, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. on Newsmax TV. Hey y'all.
Hey.
You asked for it. And guess what?
What?
It's delivered.
That's right.
Diamond and Silk, the podcast. That's every Thursday, you all. So listen, we're going to be talking about intimate and passionate conversations, talking with people everywhere, and just giving it to you straight from the gate.
That's right.
And don't forget, you can listen to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere you get your podcasts.
That's right.
So listen, come join Diamond and Silk for the conversation, the intimate and passionate conversations.
So be sure to press play to hear what Diamond and Silk have to say.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
Come on in.
Come on.
Come on a little closer.
Come on.
Because we got something to tell you.
That's right.
Go to diamondandsilkbook.com to pre-order right now.
That's right.
But wait.
Wait.
There's more.
Just because we're black, it don't mean we have to vote Democrat.
That's right.
So in this book, we write about our truth.
Our truth.
And in case you forgot, let me remind you again.
Yeah.
The name of the book is Uprising. Who in the hell said you can't ditch and switch?
That's right.
So we done already woke up America. Maybe it's time to wake up Jim Crow Joe and these Democrats.
Maybe.
Maybe it's time for you all to experience the awakening of Diamond and Silk.
Maybe.
So now you don't get to judge us based on what somebody said about us. Now you can read it for yourself.
That's right.
So pre-order the book at diamondandsilkbook.com. That's diamondandsilkbook.com. Hey y'all, join us on Chat for our exclusive interview with Dr. Ben Carson. I always say wherever you find your behind your mind, put it there. We talk about everything.
Everything.
Dealing with this coronavirus pandemic.
You stand 100% chance of dying from starvation versus a 99% chance of recovering from this virus.
Well, see, that's something that no one ever talks about.
So join us on Chattit. That's ChatDit.com. Chattit. ChatDit.com. We want to see your face in the place.